All right, so let's dive into some news from the AI world
Okay.
that has everyone kind of buzzing, and it may
Yeah.
even have you rethinking your tech investments.
Right.
You sent us a whole bunch of articles from AP News
Mm-hmm.
all about this really sudden stock drop for some big companies,
Yeah.
like Nvidia. We're talking a 16% plunge, to be exact.
Oh, wow.
And the cause of all this, a Chinese AI company,
Okay.
DeepSeek.
DeepSeek.
They're really making waves in the market and
Interesting.
spooking some investors.
I see.
So we're going to break down what they claim to have achieved,
Yeah.
why this is sending shockwaves through the market, and what it all means for the future of AI.
Sounds good.
It's really interesting because it seems like DeepSeek kind of came out of nowhere
Yeah, it does kind of feel like the ground shifted beneath everyone's feet.
with this development.
Yeah, in a field like AI, things can change really fast.
It's so dynamic and volatile.
Exactly.
And DeepSeek is saying that they built this large language model. Basically, it's a really sophisticated AI that can understand and generate human-like text.
Right.
And they're saying it can go head-to-head with some of the big players here in the U.S.
Interesting.
But here's the thing.
What's that?
They're saying they can do it at a fraction of the cost.
Wow.
And it's not just hype either.
Oh,
Their app just hit #1 on the Apple App Store in China.
that's huge.
That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, especially when you think about the political situation right now,
Right.
with the U.S. government restricting the sale of those advanced AI chips to China. So how did DeepSeek manage this?
Yeah, that's the question everyone's asking.
Yeah.
What chips are they using?
Did they find a workaround?
It's the million-dollar question.
Right.
This whole chip conundrum is at the heart of why the market is so jittery right now.
It makes sense.
And it's not just Nvidia that's feeling it.
Mm.
We saw ASML, the Dutch chip maker, they dropped by 7%.
Wow.
Japan's SoftBank down 8.3%.
Mm-hmm.
Even Constellation Energy. They supply power to a Microsoft data center.
Oh,
They felt it too, a 19.3% drop.
so this is affecting companies you wouldn't think would be involved.
It seems like the entire tech ecosystem is on edge.
I see.
So help me understand this.
Sure.
Why would a power company be affected by this news about an AI company?
Well, it just shows you how interconnected the tech world really is.
Okay.
Constellation's drop probably reflects investors being concerned that if DeepSeek can make AI,
Right.
that doesn't need U.S. chips.
Yeah.
The demand for power from those data centers running AI developed in the U.S. could go down.
So there's less need for their power.
Yeah, it's like a ripple effect. It
Right.
shows that investors really need to be looking at the bigger picture.
Right.
Not just individual companies,
Okay.
but the whole network.
These intricate relationships
exactly.
between different sectors.
What seems totally unrelated on the surface
Mhm.
can actually be super intertwined.
So you're saying this isn't just about DeepSeek versus, say, Nvidia. This is about reshaping the whole AI supply chain.
Exactly. And this brings up something else investors need to know about.
What's that?
Concentration risk.
Okay.
We've seen the Magnificent Seven dominate the market.
You mean Alphabet, Amazon,
Yeah.
Apple,
Yes,
Meta, Microsoft, Nvidia, Tesla.
you got it.
They were responsible for over half of the S&P 500's gains last year.
They were.
But what happens when a sector like that one that's become so dominant
Right.
takes a hit?
Yeah, think about it.
Imagine someone was heavily invested in those 7 companies, banking on AI's continued rise.
Right.
This news about DeepSeek could be a big wake-up call,
Definitely.
showing that things can change so fast.
Yep.
And how important it is to diversify.
It really is.
It's like everyone was so focused on AI's potential,
Right.
they forgot about the potential for disruption.
Yeah.
So up until now, the narrative was AI will change everything,
Mm-hmm.
and these companies will rake in tons of money.
Right.
And now there's this uncertainty.
There is.
A new player on the field?
I wouldn't necessarily say that's a bad thing.
Oh,
Competition is a good thing.
okay.
It can force companies to innovate faster.
Makes sense.
We become more efficient.
Right.
And that often leads to better, more affordable products
Oh, interesting.
for consumers like you.
That's good.
So yeah, there's nervousness in the market,
Right.
but this could actually be a good thing.
Okay.
It could lead to a more robust and diverse AI landscape.
And one that benefits everyone.
Exactly.
That's a really interesting way to look at it.
Thanks.
So instead of a tech monopoly,
Yeah,
we might see a more dynamic and competitive market
it's possible.
with companies really pushing each other
Yeah,
to develop better AI.
that would be great.
But how does all of this play into this earnings season that's upon us?
Right.
Apple, Meta, Microsoft, and Tesla are all reporting this week.
They are, and the timing is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
They're going to be under a lot of pressure to show strong profits.
Especially with interest rates going up.
Exactly. It makes bonds more appealing to some investors.
Right.
And this whole DeepSeek thing, it just adds another layer
Of scrutiny.
Yeah.
Exactly, to their performance.
Investors are going to be watching so closely
Mm.
to see how they respond.
Right.
Will they even acknowledge DeepSeek
As a threat.
as a potential threat? Yeah.
Will they announce any new strategies or investments?
To stay ahead of the game.
These earnings calls are going to be really revealing.
Yeah, they are.
It's almost like they're happening under a microscope now.
Yeah.
With everyone looking for any little clue
Right.
about how these companies are going to navigate this whole new reality.
It's a new world.
So we've got this new player, DeepSeek, shaking things up.
Yep.
The market is reacting to the uncertainty.
For sure.
And the Magnificent Seven are facing a whole new kind of pressure.
Yeah. The question is, can DeepSeek keep this up?
Right? Is this a temporary blip?
We'll see.
And how will the U.S. respond?
That's another big question.
Are we going to see new policies or regulations to try and hold on to its place in the AI race?
Who knows?
It feels like we're just at the start of a really intense match.
It does.
With the whole future of AI hanging in the balance.
Yeah, it's exciting.
It is pretty exciting.
And a little scary, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it really feels like we're at some kind of turning point. And I think it's important to remember that this isn't just about,
Right.
economics or technology. There are some major geopolitical implications here, too.
You're right. AI is quickly becoming a key area for global power and influence.
It really is.
And it's fascinating to see how DeepSeek's emergence is challenging those dynamics.
It is.
Could you unpack that a bit more for us?
Sure.
What are some of the geopolitical things we should be paying attention to?
Well, for one, DeepSeek's success could really embolden China on the world stage.
How so?
If they can prove that they can compete with or even surpass the U.S. in AI, it could shift perceptions of global leadership and technological prowess.
Like a symbolic victory.
Exactly.
Showing they don't need the U.S. to be a big player in AI.
Exactly. And it could also lead to more investment in AI research and development. Not just in China, but in other countries too.
So we might see like a global AI arms race.
It's possible with all these countries trying to be #1 in AI.
So more competition?
Yeah.
Maybe more innovation?
Potentially.
But also maybe more tension and mistrust.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword for sure.
It does sound like it.
And we need to remember that AI isn't just about,
Right.
algorithms and processing power.
It's about more than that.
It's about the values that are built into these systems.
Oh, okay.
The ways they're used and how they might impact society.
So if different countries are developing AI based on their own values and priorities,
Right.
What does that mean for the future?
That's a big question.
Could we end up with AI systems that don't work with each other?
It's possible.
Or even working against each other?
Yeah. That's why it's so important to have these discussions about AI ethics and governance.
Okay.
We need to make sure AI is developed and used responsibly
Right.
in a way that benefits everyone, not just a few.
It sounds like DeepSeek's success has opened up a whole Pandora's box of questions.
It really has.
Not just about tech, but about global power,
Yeah,
ethics, even the very fabric of society.
you're right. It's a lot to think about.
It really is.
But it's important to remember there are no easy answers here.
Okay.
This is complex and it's changing rapidly.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many unknowns
Right.
and potential pitfalls.
Okay.
But I think this is also a time of great opportunity.
Really?
We have a chance to shape the future of AI,
Okay.
to steer it in a direction that's good for all of us.
I like that way of looking at it. Instead of being overwhelmed by all the complexity,
Right.
we can embrace the challenge and try to actively shape this future.
Exactly.
But how do we actually do that? What steps can we take, even as individuals, to ensure AI is developed and used in a way that aligns with our values?
I think the first step is just being aware.
Okay.
Stay informed about what's happening with AI.
Right.
Pay attention to the ethical debates
Mm-hmm.
and engage in these conversations.
Okay.
The more we know about AI,
Right.
the better equipped we'll be to make good decisions about its role in our lives.
That makes sense. We can't just passively accept whatever new AI technology comes along.
Exactly.
We need to think critically, ask questions, and demand transparency and accountability.
Absolutely. And don't forget about the power of your own voice.
Oh, right.
Support organizations working to promote responsible AI.
Okay.
Advocate for policies that match your values.
Right.
And let your elected officials know what you think.
That's good advice. And what about our choices as consumers?
That's important too.
Okay.
Think about the ethical implications of the AI-powered products you use. Support companies that are committed to responsible AI practices.
So even small decisions can make a difference.
We really can.
It's empowering to remember that we're not just along for the ride here.
It is.
We can actually help steer the direction of AI.
You can through your choices and your actions as part of society.
Exactly.
And I think that's one of the key takeaways from this whole DeepSeek situation.
Okay, what is it?
It's a wake-up call.
Okay.
It's a reminder that we need to be active in shaping the future of AI.
Not just as consumers or investors, but as citizens
Right.
of a world that's increasingly shaped by this technology.
That's a great way to put it.
So while DeepSeek has created this uncertainty and sparked all these concerns, it's also given us a chance to have a more open and honest conversation about AI.
It has. And that conversation needs to include everyone.
So it's not just for the experts or the policymakers.
Right. It's for everyone. And it's a conversation we need to start having now.
We've really only just scratched the surface of this whole topic. It's so complex and fascinating.
It is.
I want to go deeper into some possible scenarios.
Yeah.
And explore what the future might hold.
Let's do it.
But let's pause for a minute and think about what we've talked about so far.
Okay.
We've covered a lot.
We have the market's reaction to DeepSeek, the potential geopolitical impacts, the importance of AI ethics and governance,
And the power of our own actions.
individual and collective.
It's clear this is a topic that deserves our attention, our critical thinking, and our active participation.
I agree.
Okay, so we've said DeepSeek's a game changer. But how might this all play out?
Right.
Let's look at some what-ifs.
Okay.
What if DeepSeek can actually keep this up?
Yeah.
How would that reshape AI?
Well, one possibility is a big shift in power.
Oh?
If DeepSeek can really deliver the same AI abilities but cheaper,
Yeah?
it puts a lot of pressure on U.S. companies. They have to innovate faster.
Or else?
Or they risk losing market share.
Okay.
Maybe even losing their dominance.
And wouldn't that lead to a price war? Lower prices for AI?
Right.
That sounds good for people who want to use
Well,
it.
it does make AI more accessible.
Right, for businesses too.
Exactly, to more people and organizations.
To more innovation.
Potentially, yeah, accelerate adoption across different sectors,
But for the companies themselves.
especially the big ones.
Yeah.
It could mean less profit.
And a lot more
A
competition.
much tougher landscape, yeah.
You mentioned earlier the U.S. government might react.
They might.
What could they do?
One option is tightening those export restrictions on chips.
Oh, right, to try and limit DeepSeek.
Exactly, limit their access to the hardware they need to grow.
But wouldn't that make things worse with China?
It could definitely escalate tensions.
And what about U.S. companies that do business in China?
Yeah, it could hurt them too.
It seems risky.
It is a delicate situation.
So it's like a chess match then,
Kind of.
with AI as the board.
Yeah, and each side making careful moves.
And then there's the global AI race itself.
Right. The U.S. has been leading up until now,
Right.
but DeepSeek's arrival could change that.
A real challenge.
It could speed up the race,
So everyone's pushing harder,
investing more in research,
trying to get ahead.
trying to leapfrog each other.
So more investment, faster progress.
Yeah, maybe even breakthroughs we can't even imagine yet.
But does it have to be all competition? Could we see more collaboration in AI?
That's the big question.
Or will everyone just want to be number one?
It's hard to say.
The tension between those two things will really shape the future.
It will, not just for tech, but for all of us.
It's exciting and kind of scary.
It is. AI is moving so fast,
So many possibilities.
both good and bad.
It's hard to predict where it's all going.
We're at a turning point.
Yeah, and the choices we make now.
They'll determine the AI landscape for years to come.
It's a good reminder that technology isn't neutral.
It's not. It reflects our choices, our values.
So we've done this deep dive into DeepSeek.
Yeah.
What's the takeaway message?
Well, DeepSeek shows us that innovation can come from anywhere, and the power in tech is always shifting.
That's true.
That's not always bad. It pushes everyone to do better.
Yeah, to aim higher.
But it does make us ask some tough questions
About the future of AI.
about how we control it
How we develop it ethically.
and how it impacts society.
So stay informed, everyone.
Yes.
Think critically.
Remember, the future of AI is being written now.
We all have a part to play.
That's a powerful thought. This isn't just about markets.
Yeah.
It's about the future we're all building.
Together.
So until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep